Hello everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on how to write your Commonwealth Shared Scholarship application. And joining us, we have Saratu, who is studying the MSc Data for Business at the University of Stirling. And we also have Peter, who is studying International Human Rights at Brunel University of London. So if you are watching the replay, you can leave a comment and then get to, if you have questions, drop them in the comment section. We'll get to answer them. So let's go straight to the question. And I'd like to start with Sarah. So the first question relates to A, the local level, and then the B saying development issues connected to your choosing CSC team and the wider sector. So how do you think that they can answer that question? Saratu.
Hi everyone, my name
Saratu,
is
did you
Sarah.
hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. I think your question is based on how they can relate their development questions to their choosing course for MSc Data Science for Business, right? Hello, Peter, can you confirm if you can hear me?
Saratu, I can hear you. I can hear you. Maybe you
Okay,
should continue. Yeah, I can hear you.
all right. So one thing I know, data science is a new evolving sector and also a course that is like comprising of modern technologists. It will be hard or challenging for some of us to relate it with current things that we do. But the most important thing that we need to realize is that whether you're starting data science now or you're just switching from another field, is that data science is something you can relate with any aspect of work that you're doing, either HR, administrative, health, industrial work, or engineering, even health. You can do data science under those fields. And the course is actually a transitioning course, so it doesn't expect you to have a wider knowledge of everything about data science before you can apply for it because it takes everything from scratch. So they expect you to just have an understanding how you could relate that particular data science for business in the sector which you are applying for. So, for an instance, if you are going for health, let's say maybe you are into public health. I saw a lot of scholars that are into public health and they want to like branch into data science. So, what you could do is that there's SDGs that are trying to solve issues of health, and there are some that are trying to solve issue of inequality, and there's also that for technology aspect. So application of data science has been used in cancer therapy, in studying of neural images for so many things, and you can as well apply it into studying all those quantum sciences, cancer research, and so many more that you could find. So try to relate it that, okay, you don't need, what I understood about CSC ACEs, you don't need to show deep or technical understanding of what you're doing. They just want to know if you understand what's your passion, what are your vision, and what are your expectations for yourself if you will be able to get the award and pass through the education. So if you can stay consistent within your mission, vision, and also like highlight how you think that course can be applicable in your field. So it just need a little bit of a research to see how do you apply data science in health. I know for me, I'm a humanitarian person. I work with non-governmental organizations into gender equality, child development, nutrition, and the like. So what I do is that I saw a project that inspires me, which is done by the World Food Program, which they leverage the use of data science in targeting areas of relief funds and places where they can target hunger and drought to emerge in sub-Saharan Africa. So I know I'm not into data science in agriculture or data science in food security and the like. So I kept thinking, how do I apply that? So I realized I could use machine learning and artificial intelligence into like creating a similar to what Apple just developed now, a sensor that you can highlight when somebody is at risk of something. So I was like targeting children that are in danger, how you can use AI to censor those things with just a bracelet or something like that. But I didn't make it like a project proposal. All I was highlighting is that I could use data science to prevent more kids from being violated and also to position them into a better place by getting a good data of them, utilizing that data to segregate them into a better places to track their success, reunite them with families. You know, in Africa, especially the northern Nigeria, we have so many almajiris like that. So using all those ideas gave me a bigger wide insight of how I want to channel my data science experience into that. Most of the people reviewing your essays, they are also not technical people. So just keep it simple. You can just chip in an idea, even if you don't know how it can come to life. But when you think it makes sense, just say it and try to portray it aligned with your vision that this is what you want to do. And you think if you should have a master's in data science, it will allow you to uh, build models, build your capacity in how to conduct such kinds of research. And with the alumni connections, you get to connect with other fellows who has done something like that. I think everything is just understanding how to keep speaking in one angle without diverting from it, which is the main focus is your vision. I hope this answers it well. Hello, do we have any question?
Hi,
Hi, I
Saratu.
can hear you, Peter.
Yeah, since we lost Precious.
Uh,
Okay.
Peter, do you want to add anything
Okay,
to what I've
she's
made?
she's back. I didn't hear her.
She said, do you want to add to what I've said and giving them more tips on how they can go into
Do you
aligning
want to
their
add
impact?
anything to the feedback?
Oh, yes, very well. Thank you. Um, Saratu did, a very nice analysis, and I was surprised. If I had know what Saratu had said, I would have actually applied for that same course.
Peter,
Yes, I would have applied. I didn't know. I didn't know you can easily intermarry the data analysis with humanitarian work. Anyway, my background, my work deals more with human rights, which is very close to humanitarian work. So even in
Yeah,
my essay,
that's true.
yeah, in my essay, I keep mentioning. If I show you my essay, you will keep seeing where I talk about humanitarian care activities that I intend to carry out in Nigeria. So my essay is more of an interwoven between human rights and humanitarian
Oh, that's
activities.
nice.
Yeah, so I did not just, in as much as I was going for a human rights course, I tried
Mm.
to, not just stick to just human rights. Try to like, what actually can you do with human
Yeah,
rights?
for a
Right?
greater impact,
Yeah,
actually.
yes, not just. So I think that is one very important lesson I want to draw from what Sarato has said. Like you are going for a course A, you've picked this particular course. You don't have to limit yourself to like everybody already know like data analysis or data science. This is what you can do. Now your creativity now come in going deeper in
Yeah.
trying to tell whosoever that is reading your essay that see I can use this particular course to achieve something else, something very unique. Who would have thought that data analysis could be used to in humanitarian work easily? I'm really seeing the big picture right now. I'm seeing the big picture. You see, so the first important lesson I will, advise everybody to take if you're applying for this scholarship is first, how can you make greater impact with the course you are applying for? So if you have been able to answer this question, it now depends on how unique you answer it. Like Saratu has said, Saratu answered it uniquely, marrying data science with humanitarian law. What I did in my own essays was I focus on human rights and humanitarian activities in Nigeria. So, and I was specific. There's something specific I was always pursuing, which runs through the essay. So, this particular essay is the first essay. Is more or less like your introductory essay, your first impression. So, that first impression is very important. In short, what I usually tell people is let all your ideas, your vision, your goals show in this essay. You don't need to let your passion come out in this particular essay. Let your skills come out in this particular essay. Your research skill. If I read your essay, I should be able to know that this person is good at researching. For instance, if you read my essay, what I intend doing, like, okay, I think similar to Saratu, I came across a particular program, a particular, unique program that was going on all over the world, and the concern was on Africa. It was a very specific issue in Africa. The United Nations is interested, almost every NGO is interested, but people were not really talking about it. There were funds, apart from Commonwealth, there were funds in other schools, other universities, other NGOs who wanted to fund this particular issue that I talk about in my essay. So when you get something unique like this, like I just stumbled on it. I attended some seminars, I attended some conferences, some academic conferences. So from those academic conferences, I got to know that, wow, this is an idea that academians are interested in. So you need to get that unique idea. Then from this particular essay, you sell it. Then when you get that idea, of course, research it. So get a unique idea, research it, and market it early from the first essay. So that's what I will add.
Thank you so much, Peter. That's really encouraging. Precious, are you with us?
Hi, Precious. Oh, seems we lost Precious again.
That's
And anyways, Haratu, do you have idea of the next question, Precious? I'm not.
I think based on the
people.
popular questions.
Okay. I think she's saying.
Your network is keeping.
Yeah, so the second one, which is to apply. How do you identification when you home? The one that has 100 words. So
how do I? Can you come again? I'm not sure I got that right.
I didn't hear her, but she was talking about an essay that has 100 words.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. I think she was.
I think
she was talking about the second.
The development impact. How you tend to
Okay, I think before we get Precious back, I will use this opportunity maybe to discuss about SOP, because I got so many people saying if the school is the one to nominate
The
you, how do you
context
ensure
has
like
to
you
do
write
with
a very competitive SOP that would call their attention that, oh, you are looking for the scholarship and you are what for them to nominate you or to even offer you the award? Because luckily for me, even though I've worked hard for it, done my research well, I wasn't like I was the first candidate to be nominated for my course. So one thing is, just like I had, she's trying to say, how do you write essay in 100 words or something like that, is your ability to write in a very short note, but to capture whatever you want to communicate to writer. That's one thing you need to like master, because the longer you write, the more he gets bored of reading it. But if you can, it's just like pitching. You get 2 to 3 minutes to sell yourself or sell what's your biggest ability or what can you offer to the organization. So same like SOP, you need to be sure you've communicated the right information to the school. What I did in my own SOP is that in the first two line, I introduced myself, obviously, even though I know I've applied to the school, they'll see my data and the likes, but I just like reiterate this my name. This is my class of degree that I graduated with from university in Nigeria. And then in 3 lines, which is still in the first paragraph of my SOP, I just stated, why do I want to study data science? Like, where sometimes we get driven by wanting to do something and never reflect on ourselves to ask, why do I want to do this? Like, honestly, you ask yourself, why do I want to do this? Is it that you like to work with challenging things? You want to be at the cutting edge of the technology? You like working with numbers? So for me, I was able to highlight why I want to study data science in just 3 lines. The fact that I'm going to work with data, that's just one of it. And the other part, how utilizing of data can make a greater impact in so many people's life with just a simple line of codes that I could write, followed by, that's for the first paragraph. Moving to the second paragraph, I highlighted what are the challenge that I think I can address with data science. So for that, I knew there's so many bridge in terms of number of female in tech compared to number of men in tech in Nigeria. And especially from where I'm coming from, you hardly see women in tech. So I was like highlighting one of the reasons why I want to study this course is that it's going to offer me with the right skills to compete globally, and also create a channel for me to mentor and shepherd other women who are interested in data science as a form of technological path, because women in my own section hardly makes it to the higher position as a data or tech women. That's for just the reason that I stated. Then I think I moved to the third paragraph, which is where I highlighted my work experience and what did I do in my work experience that I can relate to data science. So for me, I don't have much years of experience. That is one thing you need to know. You don't have to have 5 years, 10 years, and the like. As of that time, I just have 3 years in the industry. So I was like, I bring. Sometimes you don't just have to like talk to them like you are scared. You have to bring your audacity that you are talking to them with power. You too as well, like you just don't keep narrating story and story, like show them like you are bold while you're telling your story about why they should pick you at the right candidate. So I didn't just like I have this. No, I'm telling them what am I bringing to the master's program as well, because I believe I'm also a person of capability that I can exchange knowledge with them and also share knowledge with other students that they have as well. So I was talking to them in a manner that I am bringing this, and that to the program. Like I am bringing my transferable skills from the other work where I have good communication skills and I have attention to details and I have been able to communicate meaningful findings to the management, which led to passing out a law in my state, which is the person prohibition. I think if you went to my LinkedIn profile, you can see that. So I told them what I'm bringing to the program and what do I think I don't have that I can benefit from the program, which is after highlighting I have these skills like I am good in Microsoft Excel, SQL, I have basics in R, I have uh, Power BI, Tableau, and the likes. I also went forward to tell them that this is what I'm bringing to the program and this is what I hope to gain from the program. So that way, in my third paragraph, is so holistic. I think it will be 10 to 13 lines. So in there, I just like describe this. This is what I'm bringing. This is what are my skills, and this is what I hope to gain from the program. Then I just proceed to conclusion that I hope you guys accept my offer and offer me the admission because you won't tell them you are looking for scholarship at that time. So that's how I was able to like make justice to my uh, SOP. And funny enough, last week I think I had a meeting with my program director. So he was like, "Oh, Sarah, too, you actually put up a very competitive SOP that stood up." So he was like, "We can't let you know that, oh, we liked your SOP, but of course, your first nomination signifies that." So I was like, "Thank you for that." Funny enough, I was the first scholar for data science for business. So feel free if you have any challenge or a gap you need to like, how do you relate this? How do you connect this? And I know it can be challenging as well. I also reach out for some help, but you can always connect with me as well. So, Peter, concerning SOP, how do you think
Yeah,
Peter can convince his university that his SOP should stand against all odds and any other person's own?
yeah, right. Mm,
Mm,
very simple, my method, my method in SOP is showing. I via story, the star approach. I try to show where I'm coming from, where I am, and where I'm heading. And I now link in my final paragraphs. I now link it to I in my final paragraph. I become very specific. So I tell you, see where I'm coming from, see where I am, and see my plans for the future. So if you give me this scholarship or you nominate me for this scholarship with what I have thus far and all I have acquired from my
mm,
experience, I am sure I'm going to, you know, utilize it for the best purpose whatsoever. So in my first few paragraphs, I go far back as telling you about my ancestors, about my background, like where I'm coming from. Like I go very deep. You can't read my SOP, you can't read my first paragraph of SOP. I don't want to know where that story is ending. Yes. so so I go very deep as to tell you the difficulties and the challenges I have, not just something very unique. Like it's unique
yeah,
but
I see
it's
people
unique, but
doing
it's not unique
that.
to somebody from my part of the world. So if I'm
Mm,
an African and I'm telling you, oh, this is the challenge I feel, you say, okay, that's good. But in my first few paragraphs, there's a way I paint it. I don't say it. I paint like I tell the story. Like my grandmother did this, or my great grandmother did this. So in our ancestor, in our lineage, this is what we had been known for. Like I can't. I think there's a part of my SOP where I tell you this had been on ground in my lineage for about 10 lineage, for about 10 generations. This had been
wow.
issues. This had been the issues in my family for about 10
I think I'll
generations.
try
Been
that
trying
one day.
for about 10 generations, my ancestors have been trying to achieve A, B, C. Fifth generation
Mm,
putting their best, sixth generation putting their best. We keep hitting the rock. So, yeah, it shifted to me. I put in my best. and my chat, and I realized why nobody was achieving this thing. So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I got
so
it.
I make it look like not that people have not been trying. This is what we'll be trying to achieve. That is why it's your personal statement. You get very personal. It's your personal statement.
Yeah, it's personal to
Yeah.
you.
So I put it there. This is what I did, and to surmount this problem, my personal problem or my family problem, and at the end of the day, I hit the rock. I stood on my feet. I use another approach. I re-strategize. That is my past, and this is where I am right now. I am not. This is not actually my plan. My plan is to achieve A, B, C, D, but I'm still at A. But what does it mean? If I have been able to achieve A, I need support or this type of scholarship to be able to achieve ABCD. So if you give me this scholarship, be rest assured that I'm going to utilize it, because despite all I have passed through, all I'm passing through now, I have been able to achieve this. So I bring out my strength. I bring in my SOP, I bring out my strength and my weakness. I start with like I told you, my past, my
I think
difficult.
my difference with yours is that
Yes,
you stated for them you needed the scholarship.
yes.
Well, for me, I already contacted the university because when I applied to university outside of the UK in EU
Mm-hmm,
precisely,
mm-hmm,
most of them were like they kind of offer me data science because I'm not coming from a computer background or mathematics,
mm-hmm,
physics, and any IT course of computer. So I first sent the school, like the admission team, a message that this is my background, this is what I've achieved, and this is and I attached, I think, my transcript or something like that. That I just want to know, would they give me the permission to go ahead and apply for the course? Would I be considered or not? So I know how to plan ahead. You understand? So they were
yeah,
actually like the ones following that. Oh, they are so sorry. Like, I am welcome. I should feel free. I should apply for the course. They accept every background here. That
mm-hmm,
the course is a transitioning course and the like. So they were like, the course is also on scholarship. If I can check the eligibility, and no, not knowing that I'm already aware, but but I just like made it that I just want to know if they can give me an admission despite my
yeah,
background. And this is the
yeah.
industry experience that I'm bringing. So they were like, yeah, I can proceed and the likes. Though I informed them that I've checked my eligibility, I'm eligible, and proceeding with the application for scholarship and the likes. Nobody replied. I understand nobody wants to form connection or attachment. Nobody wants to tie their neck to me. So I went ahead and submit my application because I ensured I have all the documents before I started this process. Having your documents completed for the admission requirements also helps to ease things. You might have a competitive AC, but somebody you are on the same like lane with somebody and he has all the documents, you are still like having one or two pending documents that's making you to have a conditional offer. Obviously that person can be nominated before you, so the best you could get all your documents, communicate your passion, like tell them who you are and what you are bringing to the cause and what you hope to gain from the cause. Because if you go through, that's the essence of the universities here of having websites for each program. They want you to go through there and see, is there anything you are hoping to gain from that course? Or is it that you are just doing it for doing sake? You can pick unique things from their website. I For my course, they do something unique, which is their dissertation. They have a consultancy based project, which is different from the traditional dissertation or thesis we do in Africa. It's another unique thing you can point out. You hope to like learn how it's done and experience how it's been done. They have videos of past students, how they've made impact with their projects in different countries in renewable energy, some in the Scotland airport. Some have also like made impact in some production companies and the like with the course they've done. So you can pick those things and also made it the reason of why you want to go for that course. And as well, there are some modules that they have which is different from other schools. So you can be module specific, or the kind of skills they are going to provide you, or the kind of network that they have in the school which you can leverage on. These are another key things you can attach to your SOP and make it stand out. So it doesn't have to look like you are very close to this one, let's not be our friends, or you copied. Because one thing with them, they have zero tolerance when it comes to plagiarism. They once you they I think, I don't want to say they blacklist you, but they don't tolerate it at any level. So making everything personal and unique to yourself, that's a better way. Even if you didn't get it this year, you stand a better chance to make it to next year. And you can always defy your admission and also retry to shuffle around your aces. But I wish you all well.
Thank you, Saratu. So I'm thinking, since we
Mhm.
lost Precious, so I'm
Okay.
thinking, if we can, we're already 30 minutes into the webinar.
Session.
Yes. So I'm thinking
We
if
should
we can go through the Commonwealth shared essays. There are 11 essays that we've
Yeah.
discussed. We've discussed the first one when Precious was with us. So I'm thinking maybe within the next 30 minutes or thereabout, we can just go through each of the essay there and leave one or two comments or strategies
Okay.
on how, yeah, our viewers could come
I
up with.
think I have a message from her. She's
Okay,
like, please stick to answering the CSC questions. Like
okay,
just what you are saying.
okay.
So do I allow you to go first?
Okay, okay. Okay, so maybe we can take. I think since we've discussed the first question, since we've discussed the first question, maybe we can take the second question, right? And we can,
Okay.
I have a meeting like in the next 30 minutes. So I'm trying to see if
Okay.
I will be available for my next meeting in the next 30 minutes.
All right. All
Right?
right.
Yeah. So I think the next essay, that is the second essay, is actually how you intend to apply your new skills and qualification when you return home. Right. So my
Okay.
what I basically say here, or my suggestion to anybody writing the essay, is
Mm-hmm.
first, what are the skills you want to acquire? The question is very direct. Yes, that how do you intend to apply your skills and qualification? So if we don't know these skills, then how are you going to apply them? So rather than just first of all going straight and saying, "Oh, I intend to do this," so can you mention some of these skills you intend to acquire? So in course of this MSc or in course of this MA, I will acquire skill A, B, C, D. So we know what you want to acquire. Then you can now, it's not easier to now, say, okay, I will use them, to do this. To is once in short, what I usually do in my essay is I list, like, okay, I think this was where Precious was saying that this essay is 100, just 100 words. So how do you strategize? How do you write a very perfect essay? So basically, I just list the skills that are relevant, the best skills anybody could get from this particular course. Yeah, there are some skills that are very significant
Specific.
to some courses. Yes. So I make my research, I go through the university website, then I also research people that are doing that course, like people that are doing the course I'm applying for, people that has done it. What are they into? Meaning that they must have acquired the skills and they're applying it. So I go on LinkedIn, I research some of them even have website, I research their portfolios, and I see that, oh, Mr. A is using this skill in promoting climate justice. Mr. B is using this skill, in protecting the most vulnerable members of the society. So what I basically do is no plagiarism, of course. I can get if I make that type of 4 or 5 research on people that, in short, at times I'm so lucky I get some Commonwealth alumnus that have done something related to what I'm doing, and I just I see what they are currently working on. So I come back to my essay. I say, okay, see, this is the skill I want to acquire. Skill A, let's say maybe advocacy skill. With this skill, I'll be able to do this, do this, do this. So I list them. So since you have 100 words, there's no time to tell much story. I list the skill, then in front of it, I tell you what I'll be able to use it to. Maybe networking skill, I tell you what I'll be able to use it to achieve. So very, very straight to the point. So that is what I do with this essay. So maybe Saratu, you want to add to that?
Okay, so for me, I what I normally do is that from the websites of the school, I've already searched what are the modules they are offering, because during the last year, I think it's only University of Stirling and University of Warwick that has data science. I think there's one that has satellite data science. I'm not interested in aerospace and the likes. So I just checked to see what are the outcomes they are thinking you will gain when you pass through that course. And they will highlight to you what you can become after graduating from the program or industries you can work on. For me, I already know where I want to go, and I already like know this is how I'm imagining myself to be in the next 5 years or 10 years. So what I do is like I will tell them the plans of what you could do with the skills you've gained is going to be like almost immediately after you've come back from the school. So I will be like, I'm going to organize data hackathon that is going to like uh assess the skills of people in my field in my home countries and help me to know how better can I support them into learning this evolving course in my country or society. And I would offer my skills to volunteer in webinars or workshops. I know online schools that I meant tutor with some. So like I'm going to offer my skills to go into live coding or teaching on some basic courses, which that's what I could learn from the program. And when I'm got into the industry, these are some transferable skills like the professional development modules that I can transfer in any of my work life that I get to go. And so many skills that I can either attend conference, other people to benefit from those skills that I've acquired, or organize a boot camp, hackathon, or even like just do a workshop for people. It could be you're a beginner in data science and maybe you've never had somebody to explain this for you better. I can just like organize a talk show or a code with me, and we discuss about that. I share my screen, show you how to do it. So those are the things I was like highlighting I'm going to do. It doesn't have to be much. You can pick a particular topic and say, oh, this is very difficult for people to understand, and you feel if you can translate, if you can even do it. I saw somebody doing something very innovative on LinkedIn. She's teaching data science in Igbo, I think. So you could say because of language barrier, you want to explain these particular modules in your dialect to your people to help them use it in their different industry level and the likes. So I think that would help in sharing how you want to transfer your skills.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very great one. So I think let's move to the next question, next essay, which is what you expect will change in development terms following your studies, including A, the outcome that you aim to achieve, B, the time frame for the implementation, and C, who the beneficiaries will be. Okay, one important thing about see this scholarship is they give you prompts. Like I really love it. The fact that they give you prompt of what they are expecting you. So this particular essay have three prompts. So if you are going to, hit the target of this essay, just go straight. Like I always say, just go straight. Don't beat around the bush. A, B, C. So is I think it's just 250 words. Yes. So A, B, C, that is like about three paragraphs if you can divide into three paragraphs or three ideas, three basic ideas. What would change in development impact? Now, what I do here is I go back to my first essay. In my first essay, I have I have already laid down the foundation. I have to, I talk specifically about the problem that I want to solve. So now what is going to change? So here I more or less try to rehearse that particular problem and say, see, this is the problem I have discovered. And I felt if, given the opportunity to do uh, XYZ, the following are going to be the result. So I just, just in a sentence, you paint it. So here you are giving the solution. You are giving the opportunity to actually give the solution. So you've talked about the problem, you've been talking about, issues that have developmental issues, you've linked them with SDGs and what have you. So what I first do here is this is the solution. This is what is going to change. You don't need to like specifically say it, but this is what is going to change. So persons are going to, so situation is going to be better if I am given the opportunity to, implement whatsoever I want to implement. Then I think I think let me check the next prompt. The next prompt is the time frame for their implementation and who the beneficiaries will be. So I think this is more or less the last part of it, the time frame. So what I do is you don't need to. Okay, I usually link in answering this question. I usually link it with my career plan, my career plan. So I have to cross check with my career plan so that everything will rhyme. My time frame. So I don't have to be. Maybe I don't have to go to my career plan and be saying, I want to, in the next 5 years I will achieve A, and this essay is saying that in the next 20 years this is what I will achieve. No. So what I basically do is I ensure that whatsoever time frame I give here is aligned. What I basically do is just as I have long-term career plan and short-term career plan in this essay, though it's not obvious, but I used to divide it. So I say in the next 5 years, that is this is what will change. Then in the next 20 or 30 years, this is what will change. Yeah. So you may not be so specific, you may not be so sure, but at least try to be a bit measurable. Like if you at times you can also work with the SDGs. Like by 2030, yeah, I think in one of my essays, I could say that by 2030, in line with SDGs, so I would have been, so just be innovative about it. And who are the beneficiaries? It's a very straightforward question. If you already know if you've stated your problem from the beginning, it will be obvious. Nobody need to tell you. You cannot have a beneficiary at this stage that is different from the persons you've been
Yeah,
mentioning at the beginning. So this basically to answer this essay, I always check my other essays. You get so who are the
yeah, that's
beneficiaries?
okay.
So I just mentioned that within this period, within this first 5 period or within this next period, the following persons are going to benefit from this project. You mentioned them. I mentioned about 3 or 4 persons that will directly benefit. And if you have more time, you can mention more. So that is what I basically do.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Peter. I think what he actually said is aligned with what I did. Just try to go through your other essays. Stay focused. I keep saying stay focused because once you divert, they know like this the originality of your essays will start to become depreciating and becoming poor. But if you can stay on a focus lane that your impact plan one, it's leading you to impact plan two, down to three, down to four. So, like he said, he go back to his first impact and check what are the problem that he highlighted in specific group of people. So now you are going to highlight what are the how do you intend to solve those problems? How do you measure it with those particular people? So I also try to align that and make sure that it's something I could really do, even if without much support from the government or from people around, so that you're still ahead and they can know, okay, you are being realistic in setting your goals. I try to use the SMART rule as well, not just be specific, be measurable, and let it be relevant to what you're trying to say. If you are discussing about women or you are discussing about children, you can just say, oh, the women in your community are going to are going to benefit from so skills, which is part of the SDG plan, like he already highlighted. And if you are trying to help the government, like you are working with policy makers, you can say, for me, I was like, uh, when policymakers are offered with better and accurate data, which they can leverage their hands on to make a constructive data-driven decisions, it makes system and passing out for laws easier. So you can see, first, I'm telling them that we have deficiency of making laws with the policymakers because we don't have enough of information from the data to back it up. But now that I'm here, I'm able to like do the research, get what are the relevant facts. Nobody can deny data because data is fact. So it will guide them into passing out some rule and also making some judgment, which is going to benefit a particular group of people. If it's something about women to end violence, of course, if there's data that can back up this also percentage of women are going through this in particular society, no governor, no senator or no chairman in a community wouldn't want to sign a particular law when he can see clearly the statistics of people in that place and the likes. So that's how you get to measure what are you trying to achieve, who are your target audience and the likes. Peter, the next one.
Thank you. So let me get the next question. He said, how the impact of your work could be best measured? 100 words. How the impact of your work could be best measured. You know, Sarah to rather talk about the SMART method of answering. Yes, I think this question 3 and question 4 they are interwoven. Basically using the SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So that's SMART, the last word there, time bound. So they basically want to know how will it be measured. So measuring it is not difficult. What it depends on your field. You could presume or you try to bring different technique, but I always advise try to be creative about it. You don't need to be stating the popular things that everybody has been stating, that you will update the CSC, you know, that is very popular. Yeah, you can put it, but you have to be creative because many people keep saying that they will update CSC on how they are trying to achieve their plans or their goals. Now, it depends on what you want to achieve or your career plan. This is how I answer this particular question. What is your career plan? If your career plan is to go into industry, so how do we measure? Let's say your career plan is to go into NGO. Let me use NGO as example. Your career plan is to go into NGO. So how do we measure your development impact? Very simple. The growth of your NGO. You get, so the growth of your NGO, how will your NGO be growing? So you can state that your development impact will be measured via the growth of your NGO within the first 4 5 years. Maybe by now, maybe as at the time of you are writing your essays, your NGO is not registered. Fine, it's a very good way to continue. So one way we can measure is that it will be registered, and you will form collaboration with other similar NGOs in the world from the skills you must have gained. Then properly, you properly, if you do publications like via maybe publications and NGOs usually do publications and datas and all of that. Like, okay, let me use like Amnesty International, for example. They publish the details of their work, like what is going on in the humanitarian field of all of that. So you may say that it can be measured via publications that your NGO will release to update the world on status of things. So that's the formula I usually use. So very practical.
Okay, thank you for that, Peter. I think that's well explained. Justice has been done to that question. And just to add in, you don't have to be the one starting the NGO from scratch.
Mhm,
You can
mhm,
like volunteer with one of the international NGOs, bring a new approach and strategy to their work that is going to move them from point A to point B, which definitely even them they cannot deny the fact that you've made an impact there. So
mhm.
you can use another organization or another workplace to measure your impact by helping them either maybe to shape how they collect data. I'm speaking from my own course because I know there's so many questions from there, having that there's so little samples you could find there. So you could say you would volunteer with UNICEF, or you can volunteer with FHI 360, help them to restructure how they collaborate, how they save their data, or how they manage it. And yes, not just by saying it, you should be intentional about what you want to do if you know it's something you can execute. And you can as well also work with a government ministries like this, and you can introduce them, develop maybe a database for them when they have everything sorted out. I think we used to have this mindset that, oh, our people are lazy. Yeah, they are lazy, but also are we also ready to like not to be lazy and help them with it to sort things out? Because when they realize you are working with somebody that is moving on a fast pace and he's doing it, they'll start, that guilt of not doing anything will start creeping in some of them, and you see people starting to change one after the other. So if you could work with ministries, help them to align their teams in a managerial way of how they can collect, manage, process, and also measure their impact. That way, you can also say you partner with particular ministry in your in your society, and you were able to achieve so population sensors or data or research on a particular illness, which results in discovering how many percentage of people are in your community suffering from that, and how many can the government help with the social budget and the like. So you can just be specific with your numbers. And if you are talking, please, if you are writing your essay, try to be add more numeracy, like speak with numbers, put percentage, put averages, put counts of things, like they help to reduce your word count. And numbers give power in what you are speaking out to people. It's not just like a long narrations of essays of letters like that. So for the next one,
Yeah, thank you, Saratu. That was, a very detailed and thorough explanation. The next essay is objective during the award, 250 words. Objective during the award, yes. I don't, I like the other essay I mentioned where I itemize the skills where I will learn. I do the same thing. It's more or less the same thing, yes. So I itemize the same skills I will learn. I think which essay is that again? That let me I
I
um
think to minimize time, Peter, you can pick some essays, explain about it, then I pick some and explain, so we don't get to take more time and bore them with so much talks.
yeah, that's a good one, right? So let me talk about this objective during the award, then let me talk about short term career plan, right? So I could
Okay.
just talk about this too. And so what I basically do for objective during the award is I rehash the skills I want to learn. Because what this question is telling you is what are you going to learn during your what are you going to achieve? What are you going to acquire in course of your studies? Why should we sponsor you? Why what will you if we sponsor you, what will you learn? So I basically go back to the skills, practical skills that I've already mentioned in my is this second or third essay now. So in this instance, I maybe networking, communication, or what have you. I link them. What I basically do is I itemize them and I link them directly to how they will help me to solve the problem I have mentioned at the beginning. Yeah. So if I am learning communication skill, anybody can learn communication skill. But how will it help me to solve the problem I am proposing to solve. So I try to attach it. So by the time I do this about 4 or 5 skills, I'm done with the essay. Okay, then the next essay is career plan. The two essays run into each other. Sarato will talk about the long term. I'll basically talk about the short term career plan. Now, what I have discovered is what most people do in this essay is they keep saying maybe you go and do PhD, you want to do a PhD, or you become, when you come back from your scholarship tenure, you become a senior associate, or you take up a higher role in the industry. Yeah, that's good. That's good. But I don't take that approach. What I basically do is, does it mean that before you left for the scholarship, you are not doing anything? Yeah, PhD is good. You can actually be doing PhD and still continue with what you've been doing. You can do the PhD part-time. So don't just go on what everybody has been saying, the scholarship. Of course, we know the scholarship will elevate your status, right? You must have acquired masters and you probably, but when you keep saying that, when you say that when you come back you get a higher role, or you will basically want to go into a PhD, it more or less look like the reason why you are looking for this scholarship is so that you can get a higher role. What happened to the things you want to do? So what I basically do first in this essay is, in as much as I want to say all of that maybe I want to do doctoral or get a higher role, I first of all go back to where I am coming from. Like, what was I doing before I get this scholarship? So I first of all stated that. Once I come back, I am an associate in ABC firm. So I don't just, of course, the essay say 5 years, but I don't go to the 5 years first. I first of all, I start with what will I do immediately when I return?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't just say in the next 5 years I will do this. No, 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 no. Immediately when I return, there's no there's no stagnancy in life. You will not wait for the next 5 years. You will be doing something. So if it is an NGO I am running, in this essay, I just tell you immediately when I return, I continue with the NGO. The skills I have learned, I will use it to elevate the status of the NGO. I will overhaul the NGO while also, trying to get a higher role at so industry, or while also trying to, pursue doctoral research training. So I will advise you, get your immediate career plan within next 5 years. But the tip I really want everybody to take note in this essay is, immediately you return, start something before you go into the next 5 years. So I think Saratu will want to take the next essay.
Yeah. I'll take for the long term goals. So, just like you have said, you already have something doing that you came back to and you've proceeded from that. So, for your long term goals, like where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? Like, just it's okay to dream and reflect on that. Like, okay, imagine yourself, you've gotten the MSc in data science, you've come back or you've went to another industry. How do you see yourself? So it's possible for in the next 10 years, hopefully, like everybody wants to attain good life. So you definitely want to proceed as well. So you speak about how in the next 10 years you'll be in the management position where you can make a greater impact towards helping your society or making things right. Let's say maybe you are in the financial sector and you are specializing in this science. So you could come from the angle that in the next 10 years, as a key manager role in social industry or social financial institution, you are going to introduce technologies which will allow people to maybe do self banking and the likes, utilizing the data from the system that you people already have, and you can use it to introduce more sophisticated approach into your country because of your position in that company. And if you are talking about NGO, okay, fine, you are already maybe a country director in the next 10 years, or you're project director heading a particular country. So you'll be like, you introduce new innovations, new technology, use your power. What they want to see is that you are a big dreamer, you are ambitious. When you are, how do you utilize power when you've attained it? Commonwealth tried to envision its scholars in the next 10 years, you should all be in powerful positions. So, how do you tend to use it to make life easier? For us now, everybody is challenging to solve the SDGs, trying to meet up with 2030. So you could calculate like in the next 10 years, which year are we? And how feasible do you see the particular SDG goal in you're interested is moving in your country? You can say, okay, by that you would put on more effort to see this particular SDG goal has moved from this percentage to the next percentage through doing this, and that because of the office you have attained. So they know, okay, this is a very positive person. If he is to be in power, this is what he intends to do to the SDG goals to ensure that they've been achieved in his country or in his community. I feel with this, you should be able to answer that ambition of 10 years plan, because 10 years of you are more powerful, you are richer, you are more stable, you can make more bigger impact than you can in your 5-year plans. Thank you.
Saratu, thank you. That was a good one. I don't know. I may not be able to continue. I think there are still some
Okay.
other essays. Yeah, except if Saratu will want to touch on those essays. But there's a question somebody dropped on the comment. So I'll basically try to answer the question and hand over to Saratu to
Okay.
see if she'll properly conclude the session. The person said with a tutu and an adequate, that is Otobon Peter now, with a tutu and an adequate volunteer experience or leadership, does that increase a person's chance? Just read the terms of the scholarship. The only way a tutu can increase your chance is if you are adding a master. So if you already have a master or a postgraduate certificate that is properly recognized. So I think that is the rules. So I can't guarantee you anything. You may want to try your luck, you never can tell. But the rules, I think they will always want to play by the rule. Uh, Academic qualification minimum of a 2-1, or if you have a 2-2, you may want to first of all get a master before you do the application. So I think that is the answer I can prefer, except if Sarah to have something else to say about that.
No, I think if you can make a strong case for
Mhm,
his relevant experience, he should be given a fair chance to compete with other people.
mhm,
It's when you have two or you have third class, it's about how you can compete with the industry skills that you have. I think some places they rank your years of experience to meet up to some certain degree level. For some people, they are like, if you have 5 years experience, you can be considered as 2-1 instead of 2-2, because your experience will cover up that degree level that you have from 2-2 to 2-1. So you can apply with any degree qualification. Just you need to like make a strong case, make them see that why it's just like investment. Make them see why it's a great option to invest in you despite your academic qualifications that you previously in.
And okay, also this may depend on schools, right? The schools, they are the nominating agencies and they
Yeah.
actually have a higher say here. And this may depend on school. There are some schools, even for admission, they don't take 2-1 like admission, not scholarship. For admission, some schools don't take 2-1. Yeah.
I
So I
think
can
even for that, they always have exception. They also always like say, okay, if you have relevant industry experience, I think
mhm,
with UK, they always say with relevant industry experience, you
mhm.
can apply.
Yes, or you
Or
have
you can
extenuating.
as well reach out to the admission department, send the school a
Yes,
mail, like
yes,
just like I did, to
yes.
avoid so many love letters. You can send them a mail that this is what you have, this is what you are bringing. Like make a very strong case while you're asking for permission to enroll.
Yeah, some will ask for extenuating circumstances. Yeah, so there are probably reasons why you couldn't meet up with the academic requirement. If you have a
Yeah.
reasonable ground, yeah, you could actually state them too. So just put in your best. The minimum requirement is state is a 2-1 professional qualification, but like Saratu has said, if you have, the experience, what I advise is if you have a professional certificate apart from the experience, yeah, maybe after your main qualification, you have a professional certificate that qualify you, that certify you in that your field. You can use it as a replacement for the master. Yeah. So if you have a professional certificate, you can use it, adduce your experience, and um, hoping all will work in your favor. So I think that is where personally I may likely want to draw the curtain. I don't know about you, Saratu. You may likely want to continue with the other essays, but I'm running out of time.
I think we've answered all the crucial ones.
Okay.
I think I will just attend to questions so that we don't get to bore them.
Okay. 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 Somebody saying who does the nomination, the CSC or the institution? You want to answer that?
Okay, yeah. So for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship is the institution that makes the nomination. So that's why you need to send a very powerful SOP. I try to tell people that SOP doesn't mean you will send the same SOP to CSC and send the same to school. Send different SOPs. That's what I did. I did SOP that is specific to the course and specific to the university through the informations they have, what they intend to like offer, and what I also think it's aligned to that. So I have two different SOPs. I have one specific to the university, one specific to uh CSC, which is more neutral and the like, because the one for the university, I was like quoting things that they have on their website and what their alumni students are saying about the particular program I'm applying for. So that shows them that, oh, you are not just interested in the course, you've also like done your research. I think I even mentioned one of their star alumni person that I contacted on LinkedIn, and he was helpful to share so many information.
Thank you. Okay, I think the previous question, Precious was trying to make contribution. She said, apply with any degree qualification, you can still win the scholarship. Yeah, like
Yeah,
we have said, Saratu said, try to do more with your experience. And like I said, if you have professional certificates that you can also attach. Yeah. Then there's a question. Okay, I think that question is answered already. That is the one you just answered now, right? Yes.
yeah.
So um Saracho, I may have to leave you properly to see if there are other questions that will come your
Okay,
way.
no problem. I'll take it
Yeah,
from here.
yes,
Yeah, thank
properly,
you for your
properly.
time.
We'll meet in other forum.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah. Bye, bye.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah.
So I think we've spoken about the impact plan essays. We've discussed about the short-term, long-term goals, objectives during the award, and we've also discussed the SOP challenge, the nominating agencies, and the likes. So if you have any question, just feel free, drop it as a comment, and we're going to answer to that. Okay. So I think if we don't have any further questions, I will just like try to wrap up the session for us and just give us some last few advice that we can take. So for CSC, try to stay focused, align let each of your AC leads to one another. Let impact one lead to two, let two and have a relationship with three, four, and the likes. And try to be concise in whatever you are saying in your AC. Don't try to expand all the number of word limits they give you. If they say 250, it doesn't mean you have to do 250. If you have 250, 150 or 180, you are good to go. If you have 100, try as much as possible. What I do, I don't always like reach to the last number of word limit they give to me. I try to summarize to make it more specific to what I'm saying. So I think there's a question. Please, the number one question. Can you explain the gain, please? I joined late, please. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think I understood your question, Angela. You said Number one question, can you explain it again? There's so many comments. I don't know which one is the number one. If you can just drop it again. So when you're specific to what you're answering and speak about yourself. I know there's temptation that, okay, let me check what somebody have said. I don't have an idea or something like that. No, even if you read what somebody says, ask yourself, what do I need of this? Or how do I see myself if I get this? Or how do I get to do this by myself? Precious, can you drop the first question again? Is it the one about the tutu? Okay, the CSC question, essay number one. So essay number one is trying to ask you that what kind of problem have you identified and are you interested in taking up to be your case study? And that question, in which of the SDGs does it fall into? So it's you have to pick, I think, three SDGs. Is it under women equality? Is it under health, education, and the likes? So pick the ones they are under it and think of a problem that revolve around these three SDGs that you've picked. Then you now narrate. It's good to search online to see websites, organizations, or forum that deal with that particular area that you are interested in, so that you can quote them. You can see, according to World Health Organization, a so percentage of children there's so percentage of children mortality in the sub-Saharan Africa due to poor quality of food insecurity, and the likes. And this led you to why you want to take it up and study this particular masters to research more how you can provide solution to particular sector on that. So you see, you've picked issues of child mortality as a result of nutrition, problem of food security, and you are quoting an integratable organization, which is the World Health Organization. Or you can get even data from UNICEF, or even the World Bank. You can say, okay, 1 in 3 of women in the world is said to experience a particular challenge of emotional abuse or the like throughout their life. And this is why you want to research on how you can offer more better human rights to those people in that particular sector. So you've made a case, you've quoted, and you have credible reference to back it up for you. I think this would help you to go through it. But majorly, the essay one is more of about you are stating a problem. What do you think is the problem? To what degree is the problem? Because you need to measure it actually. That's why you need to do the research to know what's the percentage or what's the number of how many people that are infected or are going through that particular issues. And what do you think your society is doing? You can even bring down the statistics down to your society, or in your society, if globally you have 1 in 3 women going through emotional abuse, you can say, oh, in your society it's 1 in 2 women in your society because of challenges in the sub-Saharan African and the like. So you've made it's more about problem statement. What is your problem statement? Then you proceed to the second essay. How do you think that problem can be solved with what you are intending to do? I think there's another question. What are the things to focus on in the CV? Should it be more of voluntary experience or more of lab and research experience or the likes? So for academic CV, it's an academic CV that you have to submit, which you will need to highlight your academic achievement first. For me, I have a degree, so I started with my degree, and I have diplomas that I've done and certifications. So I mentioned that, and I don't think I've put my secondary school because it's obvious I can't go to university without having to attend at that. So you hone on the experience. Experience can be volunteer, it can be paid work that you've done. But inside that, after mentioning, okay, you were a volunteer in this organization, or you worked at a as a data administrator in this organization, you have to check within that 2 years, 3 years, 5 years that you've worked in that organization, what is the most outstanding work that you've done, or what is the most impactful thing you've done in the organization. Is it that you developed an Excel template that helped them to automate the process of entering records, tracking the number of things in the office? So you mention the job, mention the key things, try to like don't make it too long. You can put it 3 to 5 key things you've achieved during that thing, or you've innovations you've brought to your workplace. So you can highlight your skills, include both soft and hard skills. I also have that in my CV as well. I split it into two, hard and soft skills. So education, work experience, volunteer section, skills. I added certifications because I tried to like do industry relevant certifications to what I'm doing. So I listed the ones that are specific to that. Okay, yeah, I think Precious is trying to tell you that you can include both the experience of volunteer and research experience. You can as well also include your experience in your NYSC year, because yes, it's also a volunteer work. Let's forget about the alawi you are paid. It's more of a volunteer work because you have committed the entire year into helping the sector or the office you've been attached to. So it's also an experience for you. You can count it as part of your experience. If you hold a position during your undergraduate, let's say maybe you serve as uh, all those university reps that I think is it you can be president of your department, you can do SUG, I think. So you can also highlight that as extracurriculum activity and volunteers you've done. Do we have anyone? I think these are all. Yeah, so basically, this is it. Just try to be genuine as much as you could. We are still one message away, even though we are still dealing with our own modules, but it's a commitment. Just like we also had other people to answer us, we'll be always there to answer you people. I might not answer today, but I don't go 2 days without checking my LinkedIn to answer people. So do feel free to reach out to me. So thank you everyone for having me here and staying to the end. And I hope sharing my journey, me, Peter, and Precious helps to guide you into acing your Commonwealth ACEs, and all the best in it. Thank you.